Are your legs feeling weaker lately? Are simple things like climbing stairs or standing too long becoming harder than they used to be? Stronger legs at 60 plus aren't built in the gym, but in your bedroom. Your legs don't rebuild when you walk, they rebuild while you sleep. And all it might take is 3 simple vitamins, taken at the right time. Every night, your body gets a chance to do something powerful: repair. But as we age, that repair process becomes slower, less efficient, and more fragile, especially in your legs. You may feel it as tightness in your calves, stiffness in your knees, or aching thighs that linger after a normal day. Many seniors chalk this up to age. But what if the real reason isn't just age? What if your legs aren't healing properly at night because they're missing 3 key vitamins that help you rebuild muscle, restore nerve health, and keep your joints smooth? After 20 years working with older adults, I've seen this firsthand. The right vitamins, taken before bed, can make a real difference by morning. Stronger legs after 60? It may start not with walking, but with what you take right before bed. Many seniors suffer from weak, aching legs that keep them up at night. But what if you could rebuild muscle and support healing while you sleep? Last week, I met a woman named Clara at a senior wellness group. She told me, "Every morning, I hold the railing not just because I need it, but because I'm scared I won't get up without it." That sentence stayed with me, because I've heard it too many times before. And if your legs have started to feel like they're no longer your strongest allies, then this video is for you. Tonight, we reveal 3 bedtime vitamins that help seniors strengthen leg muscles, reduce nighttime pain, and wake up steadier, stronger, and more confident. Let's begin with the first and perhaps most overlooked vitamin, one that helps reconnect your legs to your brain quietly and powerfully every single night. 1. Vitamin B12, nerve repair. While you sleep, have you ever opened your eyes in the morning and noticed your legs feel slow, heavy, or just not quite yours? Maybe it starts as a gentle tingling in your feet, or a strange numbness in your toes, or perhaps your legs feel oddly disconnected, like they're still asleep while your mind is wide awake. If this sounds familiar, you're not alone. And the answer might not be your age, your mattress, or even your circulation. It could be something much more silent and fixable. Vitamin B12 deficiency. B12 isn't just another energy vitamin. At night, it becomes something far more essential. It turns into your body's internal repair team, quietly restoring your nervous system while you rest. Let me explain. Inside your body, your nerves are wrapped in a protective sheath called myelin. This sheath acts like insulation around a wire, allowing your brain to send fast, clear signals all the way down to your feet. But as we age, that insulation starts to fray. Stress, medications, acid reflux drugs, alcohol, and even a lifetime of processed food can all reduce B12 absorption, especially after age 60. And when your B12 levels run low, your nerves don't just weaken, they misfire. That's when you feel pins and needles. That's when your balance starts to shift. That's when your feet feel like they're walking on cotton, or your legs feel like they're no longer connected to your mind. There's a woman I worked with, a 67-year-old retired teacher, who told me, "Every morning, it feels like my legs forgot how to move." She struggled with balance. Her feet tingled for the first hour after waking. She even tripped once just getting out of bed. The word she used was disconnected. We ran a simple blood test. Her B12 levels were at the very low end of normal, a range that many doctors still overlook. So we started her on a nightly routine. One 1,000 microgram sublingual tablet of methylcobalamin, the most bioavailable form of B12, taken 30 minutes before bed. 3 weeks later, she looked me in the eye and smiled. "My legs wake up before I do now," she said. Why does the timing matter so much? Because your nervous system, just like your muscles, performs most of its repair work during deep sleep. This is when your body focuses less on digestion and more on healing. And contrary to what some believe, B12 doesn't stimulate the body like caffeine. In fact, once levels are restored, many seniors report sleeping more deeply and waking up feeling clearer and more grounded, both physically and mentally. Here's how to take it properly. Choose methylcobalamin, not cyanocobalamin. Methylcobalamin is already in the form your body uses naturally, which means no conversion is needed. Place the tablet under your tongue sublingual and let it fully dissolve. Don't chew it, and don't wash it down with food or drink. This method bypasses the digestive system, where absorption declines with age. And be consistent. A single night won't fix years of nerve breakdown, but night after night, B12 starts to rebuild your myelin sheath, strengthening the pathways between your brain and your legs. Think of it this way. Your nerves are like telephone lines. Over time, the lines get frayed. B12 is the technician that comes in after hours while you sleep to patch, insulate, and reconnect those lines. And the difference? You may begin to feel it not just in your feet, but in your confidence to walk, your ability to balance, and even your sense of energy and clarity in the morning. So the next time you're lying in bed, feeling the buzz of tired feet or the numbness of overworked legs, ask yourself, are my nerves getting what they need tonight? Because with B12 quietly at work, your night becomes more than just rest. It becomes restoration, healing, and the first real step toward legs that move like they belong to you again. And now that your nerves are getting the care they need, let's talk about your muscles. Because the second vitamin on our bedtime list is what helps your legs wake up stronger down to the very fibers they're made of. 2-vitamin D, 3-muscle regeneration at its peak. You've probably heard it 1,000 times. Vitamin D3 is good for your bones, or your immune system. And yes, it absolutely is. But here's what most people over 60 haven't been told. Vitamin D3 may be the quiet key to something far more personal, how strong your legs feel when you get out of bed. Whether you can walk with ease or shuffle in stiffness. Because beyond bones and immunity, D3 is also a deeply powerful muscle ally. Here's why that matters. When you don't get enough vitamin D3, your muscles simply don't recover like they should. They stay sore longer. They heal slower. And bit by bit, they start to lose the strength they once had, even if you're staying active. Now, most people take their vitamin D3 with their morning coffee. It's the routine they've followed for years. But what if I told you that for leg strength, the best time might be just before bed? Let's walk through it. Your muscles don't do their repair work while you're walking, lifting, or even stretching. They wait. They wait until you're still, until the noise of the day fades, until your body sinks into deep, restorative sleep. That's the moment your body begins its quiet repair mission. During this phase known as deep sleep, your brain signals the release of growth hormone. This natural chemical tells your body it's time to rebuild. Muscle fibers that were stressed during the day finally begin to repair. Tiny micro tears begin to mend. Strength returns if your body has the tools it needs. And that's where vitamin D3 comes in. This essential vitamin amplifies the effects of growth hormone. It helps your body absorb calcium, construct new protein tissues, and reduce inflammation, all critical for muscle health. Let me share a story. A few years ago, I spoke with a retired mechanic in his early 70s. Tough guy, built like a tree. But he told me something that stuck. Every morning, my legs feel like wooden poles, just dead weight. He'd stopped taking his daily walks, not because of his heart or even his knees, just because his legs felt defeated. So we made one small change. Every night, about 30 minutes before bed, he took 2,000 IU of vitamin D3 with a spoonful of almond butter. That's it. 3 weeks later, I called to check in. He chuckled and said, "Doc, my legs aren't mad at me anymore. They actually let me walk to the mailbox again." That's the quiet power of vitamin D3 working behind the scenes while you rest. And it's not just one man's experience. In a 2020 clinical trial, older adults who took vitamin D3 at night saw 34% fewer falls and reported a 19% increase in leg strength after just 3 months. What changed? Not the dose, not the diet, the timing. Your body is like a symphony, and when you give it the right support at the right moment, the results can be remarkable. So why take D3 at night? Because that's when your muscles are silently rebuilding, when your tissues are most receptive to healing, when your body is doing the heavy lifting while you lie still. If you'd like to give this a try, here's how to do it well. Choose cholecalciferol, the most bioavailable form of D3. That's what your body absorbs best. Aim for 2,000 to 4,000 IU, depending on your health history and doctor's advice. Take it about 20 to 30 minutes before bed so your body can begin absorbing it as you enter early sleep cycles. Pair it with a little healthy fat, like a teaspoon of nut butter, a few almonds, or a small glass of almond milk. This helps your body absorb the vitamin more efficiently. And here's an extra tip. Try not to eat a heavy meal late at night. It can interfere with digestion and disturb the quality of your sleep. A light stomach supports a restful night. But there's more to this than just strength. Vitamin D3 is also a powerful anti-inflammatory. If your legs ache or feel swollen in the evening, that discomfort may be your muscles crying out from low-level inflammation. D3 helps reduce that silent tension, calming your muscles so they can truly relax while you sleep. It won't happen overnight, but it will happen silently, consistently, like the tide reshaping the shore. So tonight, as you prepare for bed, think of D3 not just as a supplement, but as a quiet gesture of care. For the legs that carried you all day, you won't see it, you won't feel it right away. But come morning, when you swing your legs over the edge of the bed, take a moment. Notice the strength, the ease. That's vitamin D3 working in the quiet, so you can rise with power. Now that your nerves are healing and your muscles are rebuilding, it's time to strengthen the foundation beneath it all, your bones. And that means making sure calcium gets to the right place, not into your joints, not into your arteries, but right into your skeleton where it belongs. 3 vitamin K, 2 the unsung hero that sends calcium where it truly belongs. We often talk about calcium like it's the star of the show when it comes to keeping our bones and legs strong. And it is important. But calcium, believe it or not, is a bit directionless. It doesn't automatically know where to go. And when it ends up in the wrong places, it can quietly become part of the problem instead of the solution. This is where things get interesting. Because calcium without guidance can turn into an uninvited guest, lingering in your joints, making them creaky and sore, or even building up in your blood vessels. narrowing the pathways where your blood needs to flow. That can mean heaviness, stiffness, or that dragging sensation in your legs every morning. So the real question becomes, how do you make sure calcium gets to your bones and stays out of everywhere else? The answer is vitamin K2. Think of K2 as your body's internal traffic cop, a guide who stands at every intersection in your bloodstream and points calcium in the right direction. It doesn't just sit passively in your system. It activates special carrier proteins that literally escort calcium away from places like arteries and soft tissue and into the bones, where it can do the job it was meant for. Without K2, calcium is like a letter without an address. It may end up anywhere. But with K2, the message is clear. You belong in the bones, not in the joints or blood vessels. And that clarity makes all the difference. Now here's something many people don't know, especially if you're already taking vitamin D3 and calcium. Yes, D3 helps your body absorb calcium. That's step one. But unless K2 is there to guide it, all that extra calcium can become a wandering problem. Let me tell you about Tom, a patient of mine in his late 60s. He did everything by the book. Took his calcium, took his D3. He even stretched every morning. But still, when he got out of bed, he said it sounded like someone was walking across gravel in his knees. He came in frustrated, thinking maybe he had arthritis or needed more intense treatment. But when we reviewed everything, there was one thing missing: vitamin K2. We added 200 micrograms of K2 in the MK7 form to his bedtime routine. Nothing else changed. About 3 weeks later, he sat across from me with a smile and said, "This morning, I stood up, and there was no crunch, just quiet." Sometimes the most powerful changes don't come with fireworks. They come in the silence when your body starts doing what it was meant to do, and the discomfort begins to fade quietly in the background. Now, why take K2 at night? Because while you're sleeping, something amazing happens. Your body enters a natural repair cycle called bone remodeling. Old bone is broken down, and new bone is built up. It's quiet work, deep work, the kind that can only happen when your body is truly at rest. Taking K2 at night means you're giving your body exactly what it needs, right when it needs it most. It's like sending the construction crew out while the world sleeps, with a clear blueprint in hand and all the right tools. And when you pair K2 with D3 at bedtime, you create the perfect environment for bone strength, joint relief, and better leg mobility, all while you sleep. Here's how to get the most out of this quiet helper. Start with the MK7 form of vitamin K2. It stays in your body longer than other forms, which means it can keep doing its job through the entire night. A dose between 100 and 200 micrograms is usually ideal, depending on your specific needs. Always take it alongside your vitamin D3. As they work in harmony, one boosts calcium absorption, and the other ensures that calcium ends up where it belongs. And don't forget to include a tiny bit of healthy fat to help with absorption. It doesn't have to be a full meal. A few almonds, a spoonful of yogurt, or even a sip of almond milk is enough. But a small word of caution if you're on blood thinners or anticoagulants: check with your doctor before adding K2 to your regimen. It's not about avoiding it. It's about doing it smartly. Now, here's something else many people don't expect from K2. It doesn't just support your bones, it also protects your blood vessels. By preventing calcium from settling in the walls of your arteries, K2 keeps those vessels soft, flexible, and open. That translates to better circulation, less swelling in your lower legs, and that light, springy feeling in your step when you get up in the morning. So if you've been doing all the right things, taking calcium, going for walks, stretching but still wake up with stiff legs or aching joints. Maybe it's not that your body isn't trying. Maybe it just doesn't have all the tools it needs to finish the job. Vitamin K2 could be the missing piece. And sometimes, one small addition to your nightly routine can unlock everything else you've been working so hard for. Because when your bones are stronger and your blood flows more freely, your legs don't just feel better, they carry you forward with ease. And that brings us to the final step. One that doesn't come from a pill bottle, but from a few gentle, intentional habits you can do before bed. The kind that tell your body, I'm ready to heal now. Let's begin. 3 bedtime habits that help your body absorb vitamins more effectively. Vitamins can only work if your body is ready to receive them, and that has just as much to do with how you end your day as with what you put into your body. Think of these not as rules, but gentle rituals, quiet signals that prepare your body to absorb, circulate, and heal during sleep. 1. Stay hydrated throughout the day. The goal here isn't to drink a large glass of water right before bed. That might send you to the bathroom in the middle of the night. Instead, focus on drinking water consistently throughout the day, starting in the morning. When your body is hydrated, your blood stays fluid, not sluggish. That helps the vitamins you take, B12, D3, K2, move smoothly through your bloodstream and actually reach your legs, nerves, and joints. If you're even slightly dehydrated, it can slow everything down and weaken the delivery of those healing nutrients. Eat a light, low-carb dinner. Big, heavy meals, especially those high in sugar or starch, pull your body's energy into digestion, just when it should be focusing on repair. When you overload your system with bread, pasta, rice, or dessert at night, your digestive system keeps working overtime. But a lighter meal, built around protein and green vegetables, can give your body what it needs without burdening it. Think of something simple: a boiled egg, a piece of grilled tofu, and some steamed greens. That gives your body nourishment without distraction, so the vitamins you take before bed can go where they're needed. Try a few minutes of gentle movement. Before you slide into bed, take 5 minutes to stretch or move your legs. This doesn't need to be exercise. Try slowly rotating your ankles, lifting your heels, or gently straightening your legs while seated. These small motions tell your nervous system and circulatory system these muscles are still engaged. That helps keep blood flowing to your legs during the first stages of sleep, when your body begins repair. It's not about breaking a sweat. It's about sending a soft signal to your body that you care and that you're preparing it to heal. The truth is, healing doesn't come from just one pill, one stretch, or one perfect night. It comes from consistency, from kindness, from giving your body the gentle rhythm it needs to recover. Final thought: give your legs the night they deserve. All day long, your legs carry you. From room to room, step by step, they show up for you. But at night, it's your turn to show up for them. When you take vitamin B12, D3, and K2 together before bed, you're not just adding supplements. You're delivering exactly what your body needs at exactly the time it's most ready to heal. This is your body's golden repair window. And what you do before you sleep matters more than you think. B12 helps rebuild nerve pathways, improving coordination, balance, and overall strength. D3 encourages muscle regeneration and soothes the silent inflammation that wears your legs down over time. K2 directs calcium away from your joints and into your bones where it actually belongs. This isn't about taking more, it's about taking smarter, not about pills and quick fixes. but about rhythm, timing, and the quiet power of rest. You're doing this for one reason, so that tomorrow morning, when your feet touch the floor, your legs feel stronger, lighter, and more alive than they did yesterday. You don't have to do everything at once. Maybe tonight, just start with vitamin B12. Maybe tomorrow, try the light leg stretch before bed. Healing doesn't need to be dramatic, it just needs to be consistent. Start tonight. Give your body the tools. Let sleep become your secret strength. Because growing older doesn't mean getting weaker. It means getting wiser about how and when you care for yourself. So make tonight count, and let your legs thank you in the morning. And if this helped you even just a little, consider sharing it with a friend, a parent, or someone who's been waking up with tired legs and no answers. Sometimes, all it takes is the right message at the right time to change someone's morning rest. Isn't the end of the day. It's the beginning of healing.